Good morning and welcome to U Sports on CBC and the 2026 Miller Waste Systems U Sports Women's Hockey Championship, live from the Woolwich Memorial Centre in Elmira, Ontario. I'm Desmond Thomas alongside Brianna Newell as we get set to bring you this consolation final between the 1 seed UBC Thunderbirds and the 6 seed Waterloo Warriors. Now the Waterloo Warriors, last year's silver medalists and hosts of this tournament 2 years in a row, picked up a 2-0 shutout victory over the Manitoba Bisons in yesterday's consolation semi-final. Outshot 32-26, Kara Mark was rock solid in net, picking up her second shutout of the postseason. And now on a brisk day in Elmira, Ontario, in front of a hometown crowd, they will have one last chance to end their season on a winning note. And the UBC Thunderbirds, favored to win the tournament at its outset, were upset in the quarterfinals by the Carabin de Montréal, who will play for gold later today. But still, as head coach Graham Thomas said in an interview yesterday, still have a lot to prove to Canada West, to U Sports as a whole, and to themselves, as they played a dominant game against the U Ottawa GGs in the consolation semi-final to earn their spot in this morning's game. Yesterday's consolation semi-finals, as we take a look at the updated Women's Consolation Championship bracket. Both 2-0 shutout victories for the two taking part in this morning's game. Ottawa sent back to the nation's capital in Manitoba, back to the West Coast. And Brianna, some players to watch in this morning's game.
You have number 16, Carly Orth for the Warriors, a fifth-year forward, OUA West first-team All-Star. The highest point getter for the Warriors during the regular season with 22 points, has yet to find the score sheet during this tournament so far. And with her face-off, she's operating just over 50% of the dot, tallying 10 shots total. And then on D, you have number 19, Katina Duccio, a fourth-year player, also an OUA West first-team All-Star, has been even in terms of plus-minus during this tournament, tallying 2 shots on goal, has made some really phenomenal defensive plays throughout the games here this weekend. At the other end of the ice for the UBC Thunderbirds, we're looking at number 14, Karine Sandilands, a senior forward, operating at just under 38% in the dot, has tallied 8 shots on goal, has been credited with an interesting goal during the game against Les Carabins de Montréal. And then on D, a freshman, number 47, Presley Zinger, has really impressed throughout her tournament here this weekend, has been credited with 3 shots on goal, was also the assist on the Thorpe goal in the game against the U Ottawa GGs.
So wrap yourselves up in your favorite blanket, get settled in on the couch with a nice cup of coffee. It's the consolation final coming up next on CBC.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Far better with FIG.
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2026 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe, no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back inside the Woolwich Memorial Arena. If you're joining us from the West Coast, we really commend you for your commitment to the squad, to the UBC Thunderbirds. But starting in net for the Waterloo Warriors, Kara Mark has played all 3 games of these playoffs, and we'll start here in the third. Has a 9.84 save percentage, and Elise Hugans on the other side for the UBC Thunderbirds. Also, this is her 3rd start of the playoffs at the U Sports Championships, a 9.19 save percentage through the first 2 games. So sit back and relax and try to stay awake as we kick off the 5th place game between the Waterloo Warriors and the UBC Thunderbirds here in Elmira, Ontario. UBC in their white jerseys and Waterloo in their black and yellow. On the far side of the ice, there's Sandilands. One of your players to watch in this morning's game, Brianna. Up on the near side, and it's turned over. Here's Atchison, the captain for Waterloo. Atchison given a rough ride and then again taken down, and arm up, and a penalty early in this first period drawn by Atchison.
That's a really early penalty taken here in the first period, and it's setting the tone, I suppose, of what the penalties are going to look like during this game, how the infractions are going to be called. I really thought it was actually a very good job angling along the boards, but it was the fact that Atchison had turned. It might have been the extra shove afterwards as well, given by Weeb, so she was set for 2 minutes or less.
And now breaking in short-handed, trying to start the offense was Baird. The Waterloo Warriors 0 for 10 on the power play. Their first 2 games in the tournament. Orth, nice move to bring the puck in away from Pepler. Centers in front, backhand, scores! And it's Nikki McDonald again. And Waterloo leads it 1-0.
Oh, and McDonald has been absolutely stupendous throughout this tournament. If I'm not mistaken, this is her 3rd goal in the tourney, and getting the assist on the goal as Orth makes a nice move to get around Pepler and put it to McDonald, who brings it right across the crease to finish it on a beautiful backhand to beat Hugans. You know, I had mentioned earlier that Orth had yet to find the score sheet.
Yes.
And she must have been listening, and there she goes, getting the assist on the McDonald goal to open up the scoring here.
Yeah, Carly Orth needed that, had 10 shots on goal through the first 2 games that she played in these playoffs, and able to connect beautifully with McDonald, streaking in on that far side. Great backhand deke across the crease as Lucio tries to keep that play alive, and it's stripped off by Murray. And the UBC Thunderbirds just an offside.
Oh, and Desmond, they had to have been listening to you too, and they didn't like the fact that you said that they had gone 0 for 10 so
That's
far
true.
on the power play. So they said, you know what, we're gonna do something about it. We don't like that. We don't like that stat. So now they've at least scored 1. They've converted once, which has to give some good momentum to them, especially this early in the morning for this game.
Now 1 for 11. And that's a good way to start this game. As the host team, looking to finish as high up in the tournament as possible. Silver last year, 4th. The year before that, this is the 3rd ever time that Waterloo has qualified for nationals. And at the blue line, it's sent through traffic, nearly falls. Blue paint for Hurst, and it's kept alive by Porter. Digging for that puck at the top of the zone. Porter shoots that right off of Thornton and backhands the puck in for Hirsch to chase. Here's Grace Elliott through the middle of the ice, and that's picked off by Raitt. Waterloo patient in their own zone and tipped down the ice by Williams. At least I thought it was.
I also thought it was tipped by Williams because you could see that the puck took a little bit of a change of direction, but regardless, the officials and the lineswomen didn't seem to see what we saw. So it will come back down to the Warrior zone to the right of Mark for that faceoff, and it'll be Williams in the dot to take it against Markova.
First time the UBC Thunderbirds will be inside the Waterloo zone, but they won't get possession, but stolen here. Sandilands, and following up, a chance for Rhodes, and it's stripped of her by Orth.
Really great defensive play by Orth, making sure she came back to the middle and lifted that stick.
And a flying stick that actually worked out for Waterloo as it was a Warrior player who dropped it. Bouncing puck, and that just goes past Huygens. Weird start for Huygens, as that one was a one-hopper that nearly found the back of the net as Markova brings the puck in out of her skates and tries to pull it to her forehand, and it just slid away from her.
Well, it was a good job by Atchison, but what she could have done a little bit better even is not giving up the middle of the ice to Markova like she did there.
Here's Morris. Down low for UBC. Nice slick pass by Faith Mitchell, but plays to the blue line, kept in by Thorpe. That hits a body in front. Maya Healy looking for it and gets back out at center ice. Punched back in. Maya Healy down low. Played against the U Ottawa Gigis yesterday and her sister Charlie Healy. Maya Healy coming out on top as that's centered in front and just passed on the near post, and Mark gets across to make a diving save to keep the puck out. Kara Mark, wow.
Oh my, take a bow, Kara Mark, on the total other side of the crease and dove over to deny. I mean, another look, it was Buckley coming around. She thought she had an open net, and Mark was saying, not this morning. Maybe an hour later, but not this morning, as she dove over and robbed Buckley. Wow.
Kara Mark seems to be a morning person, and she is wide awake in the crease for the Waterloo Warriors. She'll have to defend another defensive zone faceoff.
She had to be absolutely sharp on that one, and you can see head coach Sean Reagan on the bench seems pretty pleased about that stop.
Sean Reagan, his 15th season as head coach of the Waterloo Warriors. Two-time OUA Coach of the Year in 2011 and 2022, as that's won back by UBC. Pepler at the blue line, floats that down. Mark sends it to the corner. Perrier digging for that puck, away from Smith. And Smith behind the net has Crows, but gives the puck away, and nearly a chance for Perrier at the blue line, held onto by UBC, but Pepler gives the puck away, and it's floated back out to center. Crows up the near side, upended. Baird forechecking, and Smith gets that around. Lucy Smith with 2 assists against Manitoba, assisting both goals from Nikki McDonald, as Nikki McDonald has it here, looking to find Smith in the middle of the net. And now Schaefer uses the net as a great shield and escapes danger and moves up through the neutral zone. Schaefer tries to get that backhand through. And still on the puck here, is all tied up in the corner. One of the Waterloo defenders back up top for Thorpe. Thorpe away from James, still walks in and shoots, and testing the glove of Kara Mark, who's got that too.
It was a really nice play coming from Thorpe at the point. She walked the line very well, and Tatum James shadowing the whole way. Thorpe making sure that she took that one extra step forward, punched it a little bit to the right on her forehand, and got that shot off on Mark.
Ashton Thorpe out of West Kelowna had the power play goal against Ottawa in yesterday's consolation semifinal. It was also named the Nike Player of the Game. Out of the corner, UBC controls back up top to Zinger. Zinger feeds that through. Mark off her right pad. Sends it to the corner. And protecting the puck well is Megan Stock. I believe our first look at Stock in this tournament for the Waterloo Warriors. .26, unless I didn't see the number right. Goes back across is Mitchell. Back up top to the blue line, and that's sent down low. Markova off the boards. Markova still protecting the puck. All hassled. Actually goes to the boards by Levitt, and Levitt will steal that away, but it's kept in at the blue line. Pepler shoots. That hit a body in front of Atchison, and it's cleared into the neutral zone.
Well, it was a good job there coming from Levitt, but at the same time, I'm honestly pretty shocked that there was no call for a hook or anything, as the stick got right under the arm a couple of times on Markova.
Here come the Waterloo Warriors again. Hurst trying to fire that through. And back the other way comes UBC. Nice move from Sandilands. Now on the backhand, protecting the puck below the goal line. Crows takes her to the boards. Turn around past Markova. And a whistle on the play. That'll halt proceedings.
Well, that was a really nifty move by Sandilands, and not the first time that we've seen this from her, so she obviously seems to really like that move, as we're gonna have a penalty. It's a Waterloo Warrior heading to the box. It's gonna be Hurst. Seemed like the call was for a slash, and so Waterloo Warriors will go to the PK. They'll get to work there, and UBC will look to tie up this hockey game.
At the top of the zone, held on to by Jalen Morris. And across to Thorpe, who can, as we saw yesterday, really let the puck fly. Morris, top of the zone, shoots, it goes right to Thorpe, walks in and fires again. That was blocked by Ducio. Puck is kept in by Thorpe. Along the boards from Fleming. Thorpe, back to Fleming. Down low, pass up top. Morris shoots, blocker saved by Mark. And Elliott collects below the goal line.
Good puck retrieval coming from Elliott on the power play here.
Elliott, here's Thorpe, near side, shoots, and that's stopped again by Kara Mark. Elliott back up top, and Morris cheated over to the right and located the top of the zone.
I like the movement, though, coming from the power play for the Thunderbirds, especially on the top of the umbrella and on the right flank coming from Thorpe and Morris. Very comfortable with walking the line, patience, composure, and making sure that they're not just forcing a pass, but they're taking the play that they want to make.
UBC 2 for 11 on the power play in this tournament as Markova brings the puck in off the blocker of Mark and kept it on the far side. Markova back behind the net. Here's Perrier, Atchison. And now Markova back up top. Here's Zinger for UBC and across. That shot is blocked, but the rebound comes in front, and it's just hacked out. Under 15 to go in the power play for UBC. Excellent work by Raitt.
Good composure actually coming from Zinger, and we talked about her earlier before the game as a player to watch.
Barrett brings that puck in. That was a weird shot that just got the toe on. As we're back to 5-on-5, and Hurst takes this puck, and it'll be an odd player rush, or pardon me, Pepler was back defending as Hurst rounds it. Back up top to Ducio. Tipped on by Orth. That was sneaky.
Well, it was a smart play by Ducio, recognizing she didn't have the shooting lane with Markova being right there, but she saw Orth down on the bottom, and Orth managed to get a pretty solid tip in that just hit the side of the net.
Sent in by UBC, unable to cash on that power play as they still are down 1-0.
Had a couple good looks, though, on that power play. A couple good stops coming from Mark, and key blocks coming from the D, especially with Ducio.
Ducio out there as well, trying to win this puck back for the Warriors. Out of the corner, Maya Healy flips that around. Here's Sandilands knocking off Orth. Healy back down low for Rhodes. Rhodes fends off Crows and at the top of the zone. It'll be kept in by UBC. As a player in front, and Sandilands got her stick to the puck, but it caroms into the corner.
Oh, it's a nice look, though, by Sandilands, and she's been doing that all tournament where she's had some really good looks from the slot area, that one included. And she's harassing here now on the forecheck.
Sandilands, great work, and highlighted her at the top of the broadcast, Brianna, but she's been on display in the first 2 games of the tournament for UBC as well. Credited with a bizarre goal against Les Carabins. She was the one who took the face-off. It was actually an own goal, but she was the last one to touch the puck for UBC. The goal went to her.
Yeah, I think bizarre is a very good way to describe it, honestly. A very innocuous play. And we'll step aside. You are watching U Sports on CBC.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
When the world feels off course, Waterloo is on it. We step up to the challenge and take the lead. We add AI to the operating room to detect cancer in seconds. We invent a test that catches concussions faster. And we design AI that supports us rather than steers us. Whether it's today's challenges or tomorrow's, Waterloo is on it.
Well, it's been a special tournament for 4th-year Waterloo defender Ashlyn Crows. Her grandfather, Ken Moody, has worked events for the Warriors here for 59 years, dating back to when he was a student. He was inducted into the Waterloo Sports Hall of Fame as a builder back in 2019, and he still scans tickets at Waterloo home games. He's here watching his granddaughter Ashlyn play today, and he told me he gets a little bit nervous watching her, but it's nice to see her close to home after she was in the NCAA. He's been watching her since she was just a little girl. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks very much, Carissa. Still a 1-0 lead for the Waterloo Warriors. Face off in the neutral zone. Mitchell will pull this forward for Waterloo. Swung around into the near side corner. Hurst tries to pull that off the boards. Zinger plays that around. And as you mentioned before, Brianna, the first-year Preston Zinger just shows so much composure and patience for a first-year player. Hurst brings this puck in for Waterloo. Megan McDonald, who has all 3 goals in the tournament for the Waterloo Warriors.
Oh, she's been on a tear this tournament. It's been really fun to watch because she's so skilled and so smooth.
And that shot from Atchison will be gloved down easily by Elise Hugans. 1.38 goals against average in the first 2 games.
And I like the shot coming from Atchison there. I don't mind that wide angle shot, but again, it goes back to being strategic with how you're placing the puck. That's a really easy stop for Hugans, but you have teammates going towards the net. Would have been smarter. Just hit it off the pad, get a nice juicy rebound.
Nice face-off win by Smith and across from McDonald, and that shot is fought off, and UBC will pull it back to the neutral zone. Sent in by Fleming, and that'll be covered up by Kara Mark. Gracie Smith, 18 for 29 in the face-off dot against Manitoba.
Honestly, her line has just been amazing during this tournament. I mean, we're talking about McDonald, we talk about James quite a bit as well, but Smith, I mean, she can't go unmentioned. She's been great in the dot, like you mentioned, as Mark covers up again for another faceoff we'll redo. But Smith has been a big contributing factor in that storyline as well. I mean, it takes all 5 people to win faceoffs, and she does a good job tying up her center and gets the help she needs from her teammates.
Sandlin will try to put a dent in that faceoff record. Can't do it as Smith wins that back cleanly. And up the far boards, here is Gracie Smith. Flips that down the ice, ranging back for it. There's Ashlyn Thorpe, and that'll go for icing against Waterloo. 7:46 remaining in the first period of play. And there are a couple Waterloo Warriors who might feel that they should be getting on the scoreboard as well, but it's all Nikki McDonald right now for goals.
No, and again, she's just been really, really fun to watch, honestly. And, you know, connecting with Orth for that goal. I mean, it was a really nice play as well to give the Warriors the lead here.
Worked offside as Waterloo has to come out and tag up, and UBC on the puck. Slid off the stick of Grace Elliott. Ashton Thorpe across, and Morris through the neutral zone. Tipped in by Elliott. On the far side, regathered by the Thunderbirds, but it'll fall to Tatum James. Good step up by Grace Elliott on the near side boards to win that puck back for UBC as Pepler fires that in, and Waterloo will regather. Collision, and Waterloo is going to get a penalty as the back official makes the call. Interference. There is an official a lot closer that didn't make the call, but and it should have been a call, but I don't know why the closer official didn't make the call.
Could have been that the play was traveling up. It was a little bit behind the play. It could have been missed, but I'm going to have another look at what happened here. And that's absolutely interference, but Porter, you can see just at the back end of your screen there that she was heading off to her bench on a change, so I think the paths just got crossed a little bit.
Another chance for UBC to tie the game on the power play in this first period. Perrier across. Here's Singer. That shot is blocked by Gaskell. And it's sent down the ice.
It was a nice clear coming for the Warriors there. And again, you know, we've talked about Zinger a little bit. Nice patience shown at the top of the umbrella on the power play as a freshman, no less. And you saw just before in the breakout, not panicking when she had pressure.
Poked out again by Waterloo, and Markova will bring the puck and taken off the boards and wrapped around the near side by Rhodes. Up top to Thorpe. At the blue line, watched by Orth. Morris. Back to Thorpe. That shot just goes wide, and a big carom off the end boards. It'll be picked back up by UBC. Perrier to the blue line. She'll peel off for a change. Morris. Perrier as Elliott joins the fray and receives the puck down low. Up top, Morris shot, big tip in front. Rebound is loose, and it's put wide by Rhodes, and caught up next to the net. Mark will pounce on it.
Well, that was a close call for the Warriors as you had Rhodes right in front. It was a great shot, and then it was just lying there from her back, basically. It felt like Rhodes tried to get that extra little one. She just missed the net and couldn't get that second chance opportunity before Mark covered it up. But really great second effort there coming from Rhodes.
And they get the draw win off the face-off again. Fleming back to Thorpe at the blue line. Morris down low. Rhodes up top again. Morris skating down low, leaves up. Elliott's shot off the blocker of Mark. McDonald 1-on-2 in the corner, now 1-on-3 as UBC outnumbering and fishing that puck out very quickly off the boards. Here's Elliott. To the near side, here's Fleming now, switches back with Elliott. Power play's over, back to 5-on-5, but UBC maintains possession. Moved by Elliott, brings the puck in, and short shot. And stopped by Kara Mark down the ice, ranging after it. Murray, what a hustle to beat out the icing. At the tail end of the penalty kill for Waterloo.
That was a good kill there again, coming from the Warriors, getting clears when they need to, blocks when they need to, making sure they're cleaning up and boxing out in front. Really not giving UBC much to work with there, and Mark being the best PKer on the ice.
Up the near side, out of the zone. Here come the Waterloo Warriors. Gray. Pushed out by Pepler and swung around by UBC. Held at the top of the zone by Porter. Pepler on the near side board, swings that around. Baird off the boards, wants to send that in front, has Sandilands. Will take it below the goal line now as it's chopped on the side of the net. And Baird trying to find it and couldn't do it as it flipped high in the air down the ice. And that will be icing as it was played from the wrong side of the red line, and Pepler wins that foot race away from Gray of the Warriors.
We're just at the tail end here of the first. Have had some looks at special teams on both sides, and UBC just not able yet to find the back of the net for a combination of reasons. Some great defensive plays coming from the Warriors. Great play coming from Mark between the pipes. Everyone just really came to play for an 8 a.m. puck drop, it seems. And I find Waterloo seems to be a little bit more hungry for this game. They seem to want it a little bit more, at least throughout the minutes we've seen so far here, Desmond.
Well, maybe they didn't eat breakfast. There wasn't a lot of time, but for UBC, we don't know when they got in exactly, but from the West Coast, they are 3 hours behind us here at 8:30 a.m.
Oh, no, it's absolutely an adjustment. It takes a toll, but also this is something that they would have prepared for. They would have gone in a little bit earlier, got some practice skates in, so they definitely have prepped for it. It's not their first rodeo, so to speak.
No, that's true. Atchison tumbles off the back of Rhodes, and Thorpe will move that puck, and Markova has Rhodes in front of the net. Markova curls back, bottom of the right circle, up top for Thorpe, and across. Morris winds up, now shoots the wrister, and dumped in front was Rhodes. Boxed out by Raitt. And a battle for the puck in the corner. Thorpe holds the line, shooting, looking for a tip. And Mark shot it at the last second and shouldered it away.
And actually on that play that we were talking about boxing out in front just a few moments ago, it was Levitt in front who took that extra big shove, which I thought was going to be called, but wasn't there. So really good, strong boxing out, and lucky actually that there was no call on that play.
Thornton gets the puck in for the Waterloo Warriors. Chasing behind the goal. Mitchell. And back to Ducio. Gives the puck away though, right to Fleming on the near side boards. Plays that in front, and it bounces through the slot, and the Warriors will come away with the puck 3 wide. Here's Raitt on the near side boards. Raitt curls through her legs, drives in front of the net, and her pass to Ducio couldn't connect. What a move from her. Ooh. And Elliott down, and offside the call because Elliott was down inside the zone.
That was a really solid back check coming from Raitt as you're taking a look here. Just got in front a little bit and out-muscled Elliott to end up with that puck. Really good hustle there coming from Raitt. That was following a really nice opportunity that she had back the other way on Huggins. I think she took a page out of Sandilands' book with that move. That she was probably looking like, that's nice, I think I'm gonna try it. And she did, look just as smooth.
Kira Raitt 5'9" against the 6'2" Grace Elliott, shaking off the effects of that collision on the UBC bench. Nice pivot from Atchison behind the net to escape traffic. And plays that up on the far side. James. Here's Porter now into the zone. On the near side, her shot goes off the stick of Pepler. Smith trying to win that back. Buckley turned over in the neutral zone, sent down the ice, and icing will be waved off. He's off the bench is Thorpe. Morris to the blue line. It'll be kept in by Waterloo. Porter down low, hard hit on Gracie Smith. And the final minute of play will play on. That looked full arms extended.
I look full arms extended, high up to plus. Correct me if I'm wrong, Desmond, but I didn't really see the puck on Smith's stick at that point.
I don't believe so. 40 seconds left in the period as Waterloo turns it around. Another good check on Gray on the near side as it's brought in by UBC. Thorpe driving the lane. Rhodes muscled off the puck by Waterloo. Here's Gray. Dead in the neutral zone. Now it's sent all the way down the ice, and that'll go for icing against UBC.
Well, you can sense a little bit of frustration here coming from the Thunderbirds, and we're just having another look at that hit that Smith sustained by Carmen, and there was no puck there. I didn't see one, unless I missed it again, but I did not see one there, and he had full arms extended. I'm all for physical play, 100%, let them play, but it gets to a point where the officials are going to need to set some boundaries and start calling if they want to make sure this doesn't get out of hand and quick.
Well, the UBC Thunderbirds have become accustomed to games going their way in Canada West, having faced a lot of adversity in that conference, only losing 2 games all season long. But here for the past 4 seasons, have finished in the 5th spot as McDonald tries to fire that through off the draw. A race for the puck as the buzzer sounds. Markova won't be able to make one last play. And that'll bring us to the end of the opening 20 minutes. Waterloo up early in this game. As they've had their morning coffee, Brianna, and got the early jump. Nikki McDonald again finding the back of the net for the Waterloo Warriors. Another beautiful move, this time not assisted by Smith and James. The great assist from Orth, who gets on the scoreboard again, as well for the first time.
No, and you know, it was the first shot that the Warriors had against Huygens, and you'd think that would serve as a bit of a wake-up call. Huygens looking a little bit shaky, I found, during that first period of hockey, and UBC not really looking like the same team we've seen in previous matchups. Didn't see Wong out there at all, so you saw Grace Elliott playing with a few different line combinations, including on the power play. And that's a bit of a loss there for the Thunderbirds. But Waterloo, I think, coming out with a lot more fire, seemed to really want this victory more at this point compared with the Thunderbirds. So very curious to see what kind of adjustments UBC makes coming out into the second period. Long change, as always, coming into effect, so that will play a factor for sure. And Waterloo has to be very pleased with how they've played so far, including the performance of goaltender Kara Martin.
We'll send it down now to Carissa Duncan, who is standing by with Jalen Morris of the UBC Thunderbirds.
Jalen, not the score you want to go into the second period with. How do you come back from this deficit?
I think we just need to keep driving the net, getting shots on net. I think once we get the first one, more is going to follow, so we just need to keep going and keep putting the pressure on them in the O-zone.
You know, it's a last game today for a number of players on your team. What's been the vibe in the locker room, knowing that this is the last run?
Yeah, I think just making the most of the time that we have left. Like, we have such a big senior class that I think it's just really important that we keep having fun and keep spending time with each other for just the amount of time we have left in this last game.
Yeah, and I know one player you're without today is your captain, Annalise Wong. I know everybody sort of said goodbye to her yesterday. What was that moment like?
Yeah, it's very emotional. She's such a great leader and great teammate, and so inspirational. Always plays with so much heart, so it's very sad for sure.
Thanks for your time, Jalen.
Thank you.
That was Jalen Morris of the UBC Thunderbirds, the third-year science major out of Maple Ridge, BC. Had a goal against the Carabin de Montreal in that 4-3 shootout loss that they sustained in the quarter-final round. And talking a lot about the huge graduating class coming from the UBC Thunderbirds this season. There are 11 fifth years on the roster. And Jalen Morris, she can get those shots through, but she needs the net front presence to bang in the rebounds.
You know, they've had net front presence, though. They've had good opportunities. I recall Rhodes having that solid opportunity on Mark as the shot had come through and just not able to get enough of an angle to bring it back to put in the open net, had put it just on the side. But they're getting the chances, they're getting the looks, they're getting their shots through, with the exception of a couple blocks coming from the Warriors, mostly on the penalty kill. So to her point, they really just need to get that first one for them. They need to get the momentum back, swinging in their direction. They need to keep putting the pressure. I'm not finding that their forecheck is as aggressive as we've been used to seeing over the course of the last couple of matchups, because a lot of that had to do with Annalise Wong, which they are without this morning. We're going to step aside, and when we return, we'll have second period action. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Delaney, territoire du Nord-Ouest. Le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles. Des athlètes de grand talent. Des sports de haut niveau. Tout ça sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est simple et gratuit sur ici-tout.tv.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
At AMI Attachments, we say, it's not a job, it's a performance. That means the details matter to us. It means when we do the little things right, they add up. It's why product development never stops. This is our headquarters. It's home base for everything engineering and product design to automation, fabrication, assembly, and shipping.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to U Sports on CBC. Elise Hugin's another one of the fifth years on the UBC roster. One goal past her off the stick of Nikki McDonald in that first period of play. And her counterpart on the other side of the ice, Kara Mark, has been playing an outstanding tournament for the Waterloo Warriors. And although her team is in the fifth place game, her stats through the first two that she's played has been outstanding. .984 save percentage, and let's learn a little bit more about her and what makes her tick as a student athlete. Here's 2 minutes with Kara Mark.
My name's Kara Mark. I'm number 33, and I'm a goalie for the Waterloo Warriors. I feel like it started when I was really young. My whole family was really involved in hockey in my hometown, and I feel like it was kind of something that just my family, I don't want to say expected me to join, but definitely kind of was something that I was expected to be a part of. And I ended up loving it. I ended up falling in love with the sport and played for my hometown for a few years, and then shifted around from kind of center to center locally, just trying to play the best hockey that I could, and then ended up actually locally at the University of Waterloo. What made me fall in love with hockey, I feel like is like my teammates. Ultimately, the people that I get to play with and the best friends that I get to create throughout the sport, I think it's so important to me. So that's definitely what made me fall in love with the sport. I decided to join Waterloo because it's my local hometown team. It means my family can come and support me, my friends can come and support me, but also just because of the environment. I had known girls who I'd played with younger in my career who had decided to go to University of Waterloo. And they said the environment and the people there were so great. And also the school and the academics was really important to me as well. And it's a great school as well as a great hockey program. So I just really felt like it was the right fit for me. I decided to become a goalie because honestly, I don't know. I feel like I just had to take my turn in novice when I was a little bit younger, and I ended up just falling in love with the position. I mean, someone's got to do it. And I ended up really just loving just being a goalie and kind of being on my own, and the weird dynamic it is, but I think it's also a really cool dynamic. I would say my game's very, very mental. As a goalie, I feel like it's definitely just as much physical as mental to me. So I would say I'm very technical, but a little bit athletic. And my mental game really takes over to me when I'm in high pressure situations.
That was 2 minutes with Kara Mark, goaltender of the Waterloo Warriors, and she'll be called upon in the second period, which is coming up in just a couple minutes. 1-0 Waterloo leads on CBC.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète, née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble, avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey.
Qui finalement décoche.
Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
This isn't about just showing up. It's about what you're willing to give. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. the work that matters, it happens long before anyone's watching. But it's never done alone. And when it gets hard, this team's behind you. Because the biggest victories, they're the ones that we earn together.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan. A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2026 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
Sports on CBC, présenté by l'U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox Sporty, Veriburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by Miller Waste Systems.
Welcome back inside the Woolwich Memorial Arena. 1-0 for the Waterloo Warriors, and here's the goal, Brianna.
Absolutely beautiful play by Orth to get around Pepler on the inside and pass it over to Nikki McDonald, who slid over to the left side on the backhand to pop it home to give the Warriors that 1-0 lead. And who else was phenomenal during that first period? The goaltender for the Waterloo Warriors, Kara Mark, with some amazing stops, good cleaning up in front of the net by her teammates as well. Every goaltender needs help to be good. She will absolutely be called upon during the second period as well.
Well, she was peppered by shots as Waterloo is scoring at 50%. Only 2 shots. The first one went in off the stick of Nikki McDonald, and UBC after the fact continued to hound Kara Mark, but she was solid in net as she has been all tournament long. Waterloo dominating in the face-off circle, 15-6 for the Warriors, and converting right now 100% on the power play, 1 for 1, and both teams getting down to block shots, but Waterloo getting in those lanes a lot more than UBC has had to. 9 block shots for Waterloo and 5 for the UBC Thunderbirds. A lot of scoring power for the UBC Thunderbirds with Grace Elliott in the lineup and Alona Markova coming over from Russia halfway through the season. She's yet to find her first of the tournament. Thought it was Markova who had gotten that last touch in the Montreal game, but it was actually Karine Sandilands who was the one who drew that puck out of the face-off circle. So UBC, a team that knows how to put the puck into the back of the net, plus 85 goals for in the regular season, only allowed 24 against, and in the Canada West playoffs only allowed 2 goals against, and were a plus 11 against their opponents in the Canada West playoffs. Here's Nikki McDonald, the goal scorer for the Waterloo Warriors out of Stony Creek, Ontario. Went to Saltfleet District High School, and this in her second season with the Waterloo Warriors has all the goals that they've scored in this tournament. Started her season with U of T. We'll send it down now to Carissa Duncan with the Waterloo head coach, Sean Reagan.
Sean, you've got a 1-goal lead going into this period. How do you hang on to it?
I think we got to push back a little bit here. So the girls, we got off to an early start, quick goal, and then we kind of sat back a little bit. So I think we got to push the pace a bit.
Yeah, and you've got a loud crowd here for 8 in the morning. What do you think of that?
8 a.m. We're surprised at how big the crowd is here today. So outstanding. Yeah, it's been a great event. So can't wait for the rest of the game here.
Best of luck the rest of the game.
Thanks, Kristen.
Was that Nikki McDonald with that stick over the bench. Oh, that was Orth. That was Orth on the bench, and there was Kira Raitt as well, poking some fun, literally, at head coach Sean Regan before the start of the second period of play. We'll send it right back down to Carissa Duncan, who has a live update about a story transpiring in this game, or that started at the start of the game.
Well, you might have noticed a very important player from UBC's roster is missing today. That's their captain, Annalise Wong. You know, huge part of their offense here, but also a huge part of their leadership. And she knew that she wasn't going to be in this game today because she has a medical school interview that she tried very hard to reschedule, but ultimately couldn't. And of course, it's a good reminder that these are student athletes, and her team gave her quite an emotional goodbye yesterday. Back to you up in the booth.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we saw those hugs on the bench after the last game that they played yesterday. And of course, school comes first. These are student athletes, as you said. School and the future of your education absolutely comes first. As UBC looking for the tying goal, and Mark will follow that up.
Well, and that's always the way it is and the way it has to be. Yes, you're going to play and represent your team, but at the end of the day, you are a student athlete, not an athlete, a student athlete. So, you know, all the best to Annalise Wong with her interview and her future endeavors, and her team will try to get her the win here this morning.
Mark fends that off the blocker. Annalise Wong was 5 points back of Grace Elliott for the Canada West scoring title at 5 goals and 27 assists for 35 points, and was a first-team All-Star this year out of the Canada West.
Well, and something that you wouldn't necessarily see, obviously, on a score sheet is just the fact that she brought so much energy to the forecheck, and it's absolutely being missed here for the Thunderbirds in this game.
Yeah, that speed up front, as Grace Elliott is taking a lot of shifts for the UBC Thunderbirds under Graham Thomas. As it's swept in by Waterloo, back from the wrong side of the red line, so icing called.
CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. Catch the best women's hockey teams all weekend on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. The gold medal game will be broadcasted on CBC Television Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
Face off to the left of Kara Mark, and it's one out of the face-off circle by Atchison. And tipped forward by Kira Raitt. Orth finds the puck out of her skates. Will send it all the way down the ice, though, and that'll go for another icing call as Zinger goes back for the puck.
Well, I mentioned Kira Raitt just moments before as the puck didn't quite get cleanly received through the middle as she was going through. She got a stick on it, and that was picked up by Gaskell, and Raitt didn't really like that, and she did a really nice back check and rubbed her out along the boards.
Face off again to the left of Mark, and it's won back cleanly by UBC. Morris on the near side boards, watched by Kira Raitt.
Really good patience shown by Morris.
And then she shoots looking for the tip in front from Sandilands, and she had her stick tied up in front.
That was a good defensive play by the Warriors, making sure that Sandilands didn't have her stick ready on the ice for a tip coming from Morris. That's what she was looking to do. But, you know, Sandilands not afraid to get down and dirty in front of the net, trying to take away the eyes of Kara Mark, trying to do something to try to get on the scoreboard.
Ducio will send that puck around the far side boards. And at the blue line, it'll be sent out by Waterloo. On the far side, LaSalle slides off her stick, and now Murray behind the goal line looking to center for LaSalle. Big slap shot from the left circle. Hit a body in front of the net. Murray back to the blue line. Crows circles that back around. Great. LaSalle pinned to the boards, and Thorpe all tangled up as Gray in a headlock, and Murray will come up with the puck. And Gray again behind the net, and converging is LaSalle. Up the far side boards, great battle won by LaSalle to send the puck in deeper in the UBC zone. And Elliott will hack it out. Icing waved off as Levitt goes back for the puck, has Rhodes right behind her. And Rhodes winning this battle for the puck along the boards. Support coming from Schaefer, and Schaefer will feed the blue line. Brody Levitt away from two, but that ricochets up, and it will stick into the protective netting.
Well, and Levitt initially thought that Rhodes was going to follow her so that she could put a reverse. Her teammate did not work out that way, as we see in the UBC, and a bit of a wrestling match going on between LaSalle and Sandilands, and a little bit of a kick there afterwards. Lucky for both of them that there were no bounding called on that play.
So that puck is still caught up in the netting. Hopefully it doesn't fall down during play, or that could make for a really interesting sequence. As Markova, the C's part, Markova in front, rebound off the crossbar. No, it goes in. They score, and it's 1-1 here in the second period.
That was a really phenomenal individual effort coming from Markova, and we had seen that from her throughout the tournament. So comfortable carrying the puck, being patient, looking for opportunities. She had all this room along the outside and to cut in. Didn't score on the initial play, but who was left behind and unaccounted for? Olivia Buckley, and she made no mistake with it as she followed it up and put it in the back of the net, originally thinking that it went off the crossbar because it came out so quick.
Yeah, that net had some spring to it. As it bounced out real quick, but hit the dead center of the net. And UBC have fought back to tie the game. And there was that net front drive and presence in front of the net, crashing the net that we're talking about in the first period interview with Jaden Morris. And a penalty upcoming on the play.
Nick McDonald, nice response going back the other way. Good speed as she went up against Meadow Carmen, and Carmen turned with McDonald. McDonald just seemed to catch a bit of a leg there, and a penalty will be called on that. It should be for tripping. It's interesting though, because the hand didn't go up right away. It was a little bit of a delay thinking about whether it should be or not. It was actually called for body checking. An interesting call. Regardless, both of them are 2-minute penalties, and so Waterloo has an opportunity to convert again on the power play.
1 for 1 so far this morning. Nikki McDonald with a beautiful backhand goal assisted by Orth, Carly Orth, and pinning Atchison to the boards is Baird, and then Baird upends McDonald, and Waterloo will start 200 feet away from the attacking zone. Pass goes awry, and Ray couldn't reach it. Sent back inside the Warriors' end, and great forecheck on the penalty kill by Mia Baird.
And secondary support coming in the form of Perrier.
Here's Rate now on the near side, in over the line, tries to drop it back to James, and that goes off a stick and out. Atchison. Right, couldn't handle that cleanly, but dumps it in nonetheless. Morris, fast forecheck by Tatum James, and she'll get it here in the corner. Up top to Worth, and now they've got it set up. Nikki McDonald back to Ducio at the blue line with 40 seconds to go in the power play. That shot goes wild and wide from Worth. Ducio, top of the zone, back to Worth, return feed. She'll sift that through, back door is open, what a save by Huygens, and cleared off the line. Rob LaSalle right on the doorstep, Orth fires, big rebound again, cleared away from the blue paint. And UBC will now move it back the other way, shorthanded, 3-on-2 to the trailer Morris. She lays off, and a great glove save made by Mark. What a save on Morris, and action at both ends on this Waterloo power play.
Both goaltenders need to take a bow. My goodness, Elise Huygens. It's like superhuman stop that we see her right on the doorstep, a wide open cage, and Huygens absolutely robs LaSalle on the back door. Can you believe it?
And off that face-off, that was tipped wildly towards Kara Mark, and she punches that away as the power play comes to an end. Carmen steps right out of the box and joins the fray. Big collision at center ice as Thornton will send this puck in. What a chance that would have been for Tia LaSalle.
Well, you could see her afterwards. She had her hands on her head, also in disbelief of that stop.
Waterloo back into the attacking zone, fed toward the net. Looking for Thornton. And shoulder-to-shoulder challenge from Rhodes on the near side. Carmen still on the ice after taking that penalty in Sandilands.
CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. Catch the best men's hockey teams in the 2026 U Sports University Cup presented by Steel Mazda live from Halifax. Watch on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube with the gold medal game Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern on CBC Television. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
So face off in the neutral zone. Shots 20-6 in favor of UBC, and finally they get one past Kara Mark. Tying the game a couple of minutes ago, and it's shocking that it's still tied.
Well, lots of opportunities both ways, but I mean, I really think that penalty gave a lot of life to the Thunderbirds and have swung the momentum in their favor.
On the far boards, LaSalle will be really hungry for one now, as it's played back up top to the blue line. Atchison's shot is blocked, and Porter, unable to hold the line, sends it back in. Waterloo must tag up. Sent in by Weeb. And Ducio will reverse. Good forecheck from Grace Elliott, winning that puck back below the goal line. Elias plays up top. Carmen shoots. And Mark fires that into the corner. James fishing for that puck as Porter in the middle, and Schaefer pulls that off the board, but goes right to Porter. Turned over just inside the UBC line, but Nikki McDonald couldn't do much with that. It comes to Smith on the near side. McDonald trying to move that deeper into the zone, and Schaefer will try to settle things down for UBC.
Good patience shown by Schaefer again, not forcing any play. If she doesn't like what she sees, just turning back.
And quickly, Mark will pounce on that puck and cover it up as there were Thunderbirds in the vicinity.
No, a smart play there by Mark, recognizing that it's not going to be called an icing, that her player coming back to fetch that puck had an attacker right on her heels. So really smart decision to just go and freeze it up, take the face off.
And the face off will come to her right as Jalen Morris will line up in the dot. Pardon me, Fleming. And centers that in front, and Baird couldn't connect, and Thorpe now. That goes to the near side boards. Williams across. Baird. Perrier, and that floats back to Jalen Morris. What a move to the inside. She scores! Top corner, 2-1 UBC.
You know, we talk about patience all the time, and we talk about it mostly as it pertains to defense. And Morris with an absolutely great show of patience and composure receives that pass in the middle of the ice, waits until rate goes down and bites, and then takes it right down Main Street to finish off top shelf on Mark. And you know what? I don't even think Mark saw that shot, as Atchison, you could see, was right in front of her, screening her unintentionally. Did not even see where that puck was going.
Jalen Morris, Canada West's top defensive player this year out of Maple Ridge. BC gets her second at these U Sports Championships.
It was a really nice pass from the corner down low from Perrier to find Morris in the middle at the point there as well.
And now Waterloo, who opened the scoring on their first shot of the game, find themselves down 2-1 in this fifth place game. Behind the net, here's Perrier, spinning away from Porter, shovels that in front, and LaSalle looking to clean up the rebound. Now Bestick to the blue line, but kept in by Rhodes off the bench. Rhodes. Gaskell wants it. Rhodes keeps it and fires just past the post. Tipped off the glass, down the ice. Rhodes. Watched by Gray. And that will go the way of the Waterloo Warriors, as a bit too lackadaisical in their own zone from UBC, as that shot is fired through traffic from Ashlyn Crows and gloved down by Hugans, and Thornton mixing it up a little bit with Sandilands.
Well, you know, you can feel the tension escalating a little bit, the emotions getting a little higher. Even after that last UBC goal, you could see some shoves to rate afterwards as the Thunderbirds gathered together to celebrate. A nice pass out front to Crows, very similar to how UBC had actually scored, same sort of idea. Play down low, pass it up top, and then some jawing between Thorne and Sandilands.
Emma Thornton, the Kitchener, Ontario product, 5'6", second year, with 9 points in the regular season, 2 goals, 7 assists, and had a goal and an assist in the OUA playoffs, scoring versus Guelph in game 1 of their series in the quarterfinals. And UBC has to be happy with the response that they've shown in this second period of play.
Oh, for sure. You have to have a short memory when it comes to these things. You have to find a way to respond. And again, killing off that penalty and coming back and scoring definitely brought some life into this Thunderbirds team in the second period.
Brought back inside the Waterloo zone. Halfway through this 5th place game of the U Sports Women's Hockey Playoffs. Ash Thornton brings the puck into the zone. Has Levitt in front of the net. Drops to the trailer, Duccio, and then bowls over Levitt. And then tabletops on the far side. And she brought down Healy.
That was a really good play coming from Duccio again, joining the rush, being involved as a defense, and Duccio does that very well.
Harmon brings the puck in for UBC. Along the boards, Crows takes her out, but following up Markova. Carmen, down low for Markova. Will wrap it around the far side board, centers that puck in front. Sandilands shoots and denied point blank by Mark.
Well, Mitchell had Sandilands there, but didn't tie up her stick, so she was still able to get that shot off that we saw.
Now Nikki McDonald walks in, and that's fought off by Hugans and sent to the corner.
It was a good job by Carmen sliding back to at least take that angle away, forcing McDonald a little bit farther over to the right.
Now back to the neutral zone. Elliott's driving the lane. Markova keeps and shoots, scores! Post and in! And it's 3-1 for UBC. Markova's first of the tournament.
And you can see head coach Sean Reagan not too pleased with how the tide has turned. And a great play coming from Markova here. And Mitchell actually playing it properly. You know, she had Grace Elliott streaking towards the back door on the right-hand side. Even though she had support there and maybe could have cheated over a little bit more to Markova. Not sure how much communication there was between Mitchell and James to that effect. So Markova with the 3rd goal for UBC.
Alona Markova, what a story for UBC coming over halfway through the season. Played for Aguedel UFA. And Zenskaya a league, and then that shot is stopped by Hugans as the Warriors coming back to try to get back within a goal. Alona Markova with a gorgeous snipe from the far circle. UBC up 3-1 over Waterloo.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible, beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2026 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
Well, one of the most exciting players to watch at this tournament has been Ilona Markova, the Russian forward who plays for the UBC Thunderbirds. We've described it on the broadcast as creating chaos out there on the ice, and she's got a goal and an assist so far in this game. She joined the Thunderbirds midway through the season after playing at home in Russia, and it's been quite a journey for her. She was drafted by the PWHL's Boston Fleet in 2024, but visa issues prevented her from coming to North America at that time. It's not hard to see why she was drafted into the PWHL, and you can see that she's the type of player who might find her way back there sooner rather than later. Back to you in the booth.
Thanks very much, Carissa. It was only a matter of time before she was going to find the back of the net. And described by the commentators for the UBC Thunderbirds in the Canada West as the assassin. And she is a dynamite scorer and has quite an elite shot.
Well, she's been very noticeable throughout this tournament. We talked about it during the last matchup where we saw her, and just she goes around the exterior with such puck control and composure, and so smooth to watch, and top it off with a great shot. You really have the full package.
Good forecheck from Smith in the attacking zone for the Waterloo Warriors as Wright fires that below the goal line. James looking to play that in front, and it's brought back the other way by Schaefer. Elliott plays that across and finds the near boards, and a loose puck at center. Zimmer. Good forecheck on the far side of the ice by Maya Healy. Trying to win that puck back for the Thunderbirds, and decked to the ice and not moving. Is Buckley.
There are a couple collisions in that last sequence, and that was the last one that we saw as part of that. Is I believe it was Orth who bowled right into Buckley.
And I don't know how there wasn't a call on that, and immediately when Buckley went down, there was no movement.
Yeah, I could just, I'm not sure why there was no call. I don't have a comment on that one, and it looked like it just caught the back part of her hip there as she's to her feet. And stick taps coming from both teams. She's going to make her way down the tunnel to the locker room. Hope everything is okay with Buckley. Sometimes you just get hit in a certain way. And, I mean, we don't know the history of injuries or anything. So you never know if there's something lingering or it just got you at the right spot. It's not necessarily how hard you get hit sometimes, but it's just the spot in which you're receiving the blow, basically, is sometimes what will do it for you. So hope everything's okay as we have another collision mid-ice right off the draw between Rate and a Thunderbird. Looks like it's Weeb, and she is down. And she looks to be in quite a bit of discomfort. Was maybe not even 10 seconds later.
No, these have all happened in a matter of just moments, and for the Thunderbirds, Graham Thomas, he cannot be happy with what he's seeing on the ice, and for the Warriors, we'll need to see again what happened there to Weeb.
Oh, Weeb absolutely looks to be in some discomfort there, so we'll have another look at what happened.
And then, well, she gave Rate a chop in the chops.
I'm not exactly sure, honestly, on where Weeb got hit on that one. To me, it looked like Rate got more of the physicality in that altercation. However, again, we might be missing something that happened. There could be lingering side effects. Regardless, just hope that everything is okay with Weeb as she makes her way to her feet with the help of her teammates, and she will be escorted off the ice. I imagine that she will also go down the tunnel to the locker room to be examined further. Hope that she is okay and that we see her back on the bench soon as well.
So both Weeb and Buckley heading down the tunnel to the dressing room. A couple very weird moments for the BC Thunderbirds, and neither play looking, oh, and it's just something buckles. I think just something buckles out from under her on that play, and it wasn't from rate at all. She didn't do anything.
And it could just be coincidental timing of something happening. We are not privy to everything with the players, and don't need to be necessarily. So again, just hoping that both players return to the bench and their team and play shortly, and that everything is okay.
You know, it might be another factor for this bizarre start time as well, as there are a couple players heading over to the official. An 8 a.m. start, you might not have the, well, first of all, you're not able to get loosened up during the day as Williams is heading to the box. I think it's a penalty on rate for the head contact. No, she received, I'm mixing things up. Rate was the one that received the contact in the head, so why would Williams be heading to the box?
Well, and I think that's the conversation that Orth and the Thunderbirds are having with the official here, is trying to understand what's exactly happening with this situation. But it is interesting to see Williams head to the box when there was no call on the play that we saw, at least.
No, we didn't see an arm go up on the play, and there were discussions with both coaches, and harder to read lips in this situation, but didn't see Williams involved in the play at all.
I mean, she would have been on the ice as part of that line as a center, but I didn't see anything that would have explained that.
And still only 4 UBC Thunderbirds on the ice at the moment.
You know, Desmond, everyone's just trying to figure things out this early in the morning.
So one of the lines officials having an extended conversation with the penalty box attendant.
Wish we had a mic in there.
Well, there should be some explanation. I doubt we'll get one, but on something like this, there should be some explanation, because there are only 4 UBC Thunderbirds out on the ice against 5 Waterloo Warriors, and with Williams in the box, who is a Waterloo Warrior, Waterloo gets a power play.
There might have been a UBC player that went to the box as well and was given an extra 2. They might have been offsetting and then an extra 2.
As it's brought in, Sandilands, great save by Mark. Trying to flip the script, shorthanded.
That's the only thing I can think of, though, for the penalties, is that there were 2 calls on the play offsetting minors, and then there was an additional minor assessed to UBC. So that's the only thing I can figure.
Yeah. So it'll be an offensive zone face-off, shorthanded for UBC. We only saw Williams heading to the box for Waterloo.
There's a bit of a delay even getting this face-off underway. I feel like each face-off we've had has had a delay so far since the penalties, or penalty, was assessed.
Well, yeah, since that hit on Buckley that sent it down the tunnel, the wind has really come out of the game, and of course there's been so much time in between plays. As that looked like it could have been a chip called on Ducio, but we'll play on. As McDonald brings the puck in on the near side. Tatum James. A minute 15 on the power play, and lost in all this. Warriors have a chance to get back within a goal on their third power play of the game.
Well, they've already converted once on the power play during this game, so they're absolutely looking to do it again. Desmond, as you mentioned, down a couple goals, prime opportunity for them to go and get within one.
That shot through the big rebound is sent past the post. And that's poked out through the neutral zone. Shorthanded break back the other way. Fleming in on goal and is tied up by Orth. Out of the corner, Fleming is knocked down, and that looked high as well. But we're going to play on with 25 seconds left of Waterloo power play time. McDonald, nice move through the neutral zone away from Maya Healy. The bench door is open for Waterloo, and as they're changing on the fly, it's open for a long time, and looked like he was close to going through it as Atchison. They'll break it up through the neutral zone. Atchison in over the blue line, cutting to the left circle. Fumbles the puck, and it's picked up by Kira Raitt below the goal line. Raitt protecting that puck. Healy watching her. Smith sends that back up top to the blue line. Warriors unable to cash on the power play, but still in possession of the puck in the attacking zone. Morris will take it back for UBC. Here's Raitt. As more bodies go down inside the UBC zone, Markova hounded, but good patience as she plays that back. Long lead pass through the neutral zone. Sandilands. As everybody finishing their checks even more thoughtfully in this game, as the tension ramping up after those two UBC players heading down the ice. Carmen works out. Sandilands has it now. Markova. Sandilands tries to shoot. That was stripped of her. Great play by Crows. And Murray. Look out in her own zone. Mitchell trouble with the puck. Rhodes back in front. Murray clears it to the boards. And Crows will poke it out to center. And Gray will get it down the ice. Chasing on the near side is Hurst. Sarah Hurst. Now Rhodes back for UBC. And Buckley now back on the ice for the Thunderbirds, which is excellent to see as she rejoins the fray. Buckley with a goal in the game already for the Thunderbirds, and that's sent on net. Mark pulled on.
Fans, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca or click the QR code on the screen to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win prizes.
Out of the face-off circle, McDonald is dumped, and they'll continue to jaw as Buckley goes at it with McDonald. Tensions continuing to ramp up in this fifth place game. Morris sweeps the puck around the boards. Crows, and now Ducio to the blue line. That shot from Elliott is peppered wide. And now Morris below the goal line. There is Elliott. That was Pepler at the blue line. Skating well, Schaefer fires that, scores! Gets past Karamark, and it's 4-1 UBC.
Well, and you could tell that the Warriors that were out on the ice were exhausted. Again, long change coming into effect during this period. Don't have time on ice stats, but they were out there for a while as Schaefer took the scenic route around the Waterloo zone and just threw it on net. It went through a lot of bodies. I'm not sure if Mark saw it, as there was a bit of a tussle going on in front between Duccio and a Thunderbird player to provide a distraction, and Schaefer was able to get it past Mark to make it 4-1 for the Thunderbirds.
Vanessa Schaefer played for the ZSC Lions in Switzerland before coming to the UBC Thunderbirds. More than doubled her season output from last year with 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points through the regular season, 21 games played, and now creating even more cushion as it's 4 straight goals in the second period for UBC as they entered the frame down 1-0.
It's been a great response from the Thunderbirds as Waterloo is coming back the other way. Carly Orth looking to provide a response for her team.
Orth has it. Now Raitt going to fire that puck in front. And Raitt hauled down to the ice. And it's picked up. And played high off the glass by Sophia Gaskell. Zinger catches an edge and heads down to the ice. Orth trying to bring the puck into the zone. She'll joust with Weave, and Weave sent down to the ice. And now a breakaway back the other way. Denied by Mark as Perrier had a glorious chance to make it 5. And now Waterloo back into the attacking zone. Markova at the blue line in the final minute of play in this back and forth and bizarre second period. As Rhodes sends the puck in that's picked off by Hurst and regathered by Sandilands. Swept in by Rhodes for Markova, who's taken out of the play. Sandilands below the goal line. Carmen has to come down for that puck as it was a soft pass, and she did well. Carmen, tight angle, tries to play that through. That goes off the skates of Bestick. Nice move by Sandilands again into the slot, and her shot disrupted by Bestick again.
On a lot of continued ozone time here for the Thunderbirds as Waterloo is a little bit slow to jump on loose pucks. And in terms of puck battles being won, UBC would be leading in that category, in my opinion.
Rhodes, as the buzzer sounds, won't have one more chance to put it toward the net. Well, the UBC Thunderbirds on the West Coast 3 hours behind, but only took 20 minutes to wake up in this game and score 4 goals unanswered in the second period.
Well, like you mentioned, absolutely bizarre second period where after those 20 minutes, I'll be honest with you, Desmond, I'm a little confused on what a penalty is at this point. As we saw towards the end of that period, an altercation between Orth and Weeb right in front of an official, and nothing was called where I absolutely thought one was going to be. And to add to the confusion, there were penalties called where I have never seen them called this way. It was Weeb for UBC, who was called for head contact, which was the 2 minutes, which normally would just be a straight 4-minute penalty and the one player would serve all 4 minutes. That's not what happened here.
Yes, we saw that into the head of Raitt.
Correct. So I agree with head contact. What I'm confused on, which I haven't really seen, is that we've only served 2 minutes and then Markova served the additional 2 minutes for the head contact. So you had 2 different players essentially serving the same penalty. And then you had Williams from Waterloo, 2 minutes for slashing, which I didn't even see the slash. And so that brings you up to speed in terms of the penalties, and I expect that we see a little bit more altercations in the third period. And here is Carissa Donkin with Atchison from the Waterloo Warriors.
Lindsay, difficult period for your team. How do you sort of weather this storm and get that momentum back in the third?
I think we just got to get back to basics and remember that we are here, some of us playing our last game, and just really enjoy it and stick together as a team.
You know, just on playing your last game, what has this program meant to you?
Oh my gosh, it's been some of the best years of my life. I've been here for 6 years, so I'm so proud to be wearing this logo today.
And to cap it off at home with a pretty loud crowd for 8 in the morning on a Sunday, what do you think of that?
Oh, I think it's amazing. We have some of the best fans in our league, and my parents are here from out west, so I just have so much love in my heart right now.
And we did see Nikki McDonald open the scoring for you. She's been big for you during this tournament. What has she meant?
She's an amazing person, an amazing leader, and an amazing hockey player. I love that girl so much, and I've learned so much from her. She's just awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Of course, thank you.
Lindsay Atchison, the captain of the Waterloo Warriors, down 4-1 after 40 minutes of play, but still a smile on her face because they're playing for fifth, but it's not playing for a medal, so go out there, have fun. Last game for a lot of the players, herself included, since she's been there for 6 years. You want to make the best of the final 20 minutes of play.
Well, you want to enjoy the last period of hockey with a team that you share such strong bonds with. She was talking about her teammate Nikki McDonald and how much love she has for that player, that teammate, and Atchison enjoying the fact that her parents are here from out west, so the opportunity for them to watch her in action for her last game as a Warrior, where she spent the last 6 years of her playing career. It's absolutely special. Would she like to be playing for a medal instead? Oh, for sure she would be, but at the end of the day, still grateful that she can wear the logo one more time this morning with a group of girls that she loves so much.
She mentioned also the big crowd for an 8 a.m. game. That's impressive, and a huge shout out to, well, they won't hear because they're in the stands, but a huge shout out to everybody who did show up to attend the 8 a.m. game in Elmira, Ontario. There is the future of women's hockey in Canada, and how fantastic is it, Brianna, that they now have such amazing role models to see now in the PWHL as the women's game continues to grow. It's 4-1 after 40 minutes of play on CBC.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
I have a degree in meteorology.
I am a licensed electrician.
I went to veterinary school.
Life might not care who you are, but we do. Grads and professionals can save more. Just one of many ways TD Insurance helps you save. It's how we're making insurance more human.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2026 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
Welcome back to Elmira, Ontario. These two fans had a lot more to cheer about in the first period of play. Their team down now 4-1 after 40 minutes. A couple of great goals from the UBC Thunderbirds and backstopped by their goaltender Elise Huggins, who it's not enough time to lay out all of her accolades, so we're gonna send you to a brief segment about her life and what makes her tick as a student athlete. So here's 2 minutes with Elise Huggins.
Hi, my name is Elise Huggins. I'm number 35. I'm a goaltender for the University of British Columbia. I started playing minor hockey, boys hockey in Strathcona. It's for the Strathcona Warriors. It's Insured Park, which is just outside of Edmonton, Alberta. So I played there my whole life until my third year of U18, where I switched over to girls hockey, and I played for the U18 AAA Pandas in Edmonton. I think it's every little girl's dream to keep playing hockey as long as you possibly can. Like, especially for me, it was all I wanted to do. I wanted to just play hockey forever, and so having the opportunity to continue playing hockey and get an education is awesome. What made me choose UBC is, I think what really sold me was my visit. I think going there, it's just like the most beautiful place in the world. Vancouver is truly so gorgeous, and the campus is beautiful and everything. And the program itself is awesome. Grandma's done an awesome job building that program from the ground up. And yeah, it was just such a great opportunity. It was hard to turn it down. I started as a player. I was a player until I was about probably 8. But my first year playing hockey ever, when I was like 4 years old, I was a really, really bad skater. And so I played on an old boys team, and so they stuck me in net because I could not keep up with everybody else. They stuck me in net, and I just loved it. And then I went back to being a player for a few years, and then yeah, I was a goalie since I was like 9 years old. I think the biggest improvements for me have just been kind of my mindset. I think if you asked any of my minor hockey coaches, they would definitely say like, I was never very good at controlling my emotions. I took losses very hard, and I would always be very, very like sad after we lost. But yeah, now I just feel like I've matured a lot, and I've understood like I can only control so much, and having a positive mindset like makes me play so much better. So I think that's definitely been my biggest improvement.
That was 2 minutes with Elise Huggins, the Canada West Student Athlete Community Service Award winner in 2024-25. Third period action coming up in a couple moments. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète, née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble. Avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey. Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
Delaney, territoire du Nord-Ouest. Le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible, beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
U Sports on CBC, presented by l'U Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Thunderbirds Medical Supply, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by Miller Waste Systems.
Welcome back inside the Woolwich Memorial Centre. A lot of goals and a lot of interesting plays in that second period, Brianna.
It was anything but a boring period, especially for the UBC Thunderbirds, as we're taking a look at Morris's slick goal there. The UBC Thunderbirds scored all 4 goals during that second period, all going unanswered by the Waterloo Warriors, as Schaefer netted that one behind Mark. And with that, we're going to throw it down ringside to Carissa Donkin with UBC head coach Graham Thomas.
Well, Coach, it was an 8 a.m. start here in Ontario, but, you know, if my time zone math is correct, that's 5 a.m. in British Columbia. How did you get your team ready for such an early game, I guess middle of the night game?
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of coffees, getting them up, getting some music going, having a little team meeting, and you just got to embrace it, right? Like, it is what it is. You know, it's great that we got you guys here. We got a TV for the national game, for the gold medal game, and the bronze. So it's just part of it. So you just gotta roll with it.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about Alona Markova on the broadcast. Goal and 1 assist today. What has she done for your program since she came in midway through the season?
Yeah, it's great. She brings a lot of humor, brings a lot of skill, a lot of speed. It's unfortunate she got really sick when she got out here, so she wasn't herself game 1. And just, again, it is what it is. But she's looking herself. She's been playing really well. She's learning the English language. She's learning our systems, and she's just starting to kind of hit her stride, starting in playoffs. But yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun.
Big second period for you. What are you looking for from your team in the third?
Yeah, just finishing strong for our seniors. We have such a great, amazing senior group. Our captain's going to join us for the third. She had a medical school interview and missed the first 2 periods. So we get to finish as a group, get to finish with everybody here, and just going out playing our way, having fun, and just enjoying it. You know, they've got a lot of seniors on their side too, and great team and great coaches. So it's just finish, have a great third period.
Medical school interview at Nationals the same week. That's a pretty big week.
Right? I know. Come on, U of T, eh? Sunday morning at Nationals, but you got to do it. But it'll be good to get her back for the third period.
Thanks, Graham.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Elise Hugans. Hello, Grandma. out there, I imagine, on the West Coast, and her grandmother should be happy with how Elise Hugans has been playing in the game. Annalise Wong has rejoined us, Brianna.
That was an unexpected turn of events. When you think of a plot twist, this is exactly what comes to mind. But, you know, really happy to see her out there. I'm curious how her medical interview went. So, you know, hopefully we can find that out.
It only lasted 2 periods.
Hopefully we can find that out. Hopefully all went well. And I bet she is pumped to be back with her team for third period action as we get ready for puck drop.
Well, they could have used her in the first period, and there she is, and she's immediately noticeable in on the forecheck. Full of coffee and got the jitters out, I'm sure, during the interview, and now wants to relieve a bit of that tension out on the ice.
Well, so impactful, the player that she is, and you know, she makes the other line mates better as a result. You can already see it here. I feel more pumped on the broadcast here, Desmond.
You can see the energy in the legs of the UBC Thunderbirds, and it all comes from Annalise Wong as she reverses behind the net to Grace Elliott. The pass misses Wong, and it'll find Schaefer. 4-1, UBC leads as they look to come out of Elmira, Ontario as the 5th place team in the country. Smith will pull that back. Tatum James doesn't clear the line, which just does, but Schaefer back on it. Here's Smith. Over the line. Thorpe. Rubbed out along the boards by Orth. Thorpe a bit slower, getting back up to her feet. And now players the other way for Orth, and her backhand is denied by Hugans, set through the blue paint, and it ricochets back to the blue line. What a chance for Waterloo.
Oh, it was a really nice play there, and it was a nice, beautiful pass over by Williams to hit Orth. As Raid is completely taken down, but no call will be assessed on the play.
And they try to find Williams. Orth will test again off the tip of the glove of Hugans.
There's some jawing going on between Williams and Thorpe, some shoves to both players, each other. And again, the arms stay down, the whistles stay in the pockets for now.
Well, Williams has a penalty in the game.
For slashing, apparently.
For slashing. As on the near side, it's punched in by Carmen. Ducio behind the net, LaSalle. Shoulder check away from Rhodes and reverses back. Kroos up the far side, and that pass misses Gray and will roll down the ice for icing.
What a start to this third period. Again, mentioning that Annalise Wong back there rejoining her team, and what a difference. And we see Williams coming back the other way, absolutely harassed by Perrier, but still managed to get it over to Orth, and it was a tape-to-tape pass.
That's great.
Very impressive. Orth just unable to find an answer to Hugans on that one.
Waterloo looking to get back to basics. That was Lindsay Atchison's message coming out of the second period of play. Good joust for the puck on the far side. Sandilands tying up Kroos, and it's going to be a little much, as it looks like both will go. So Sandilands and Kroos will head to the box, the respective penalty boxes.
We're gonna have another look. They were going at it the whole way. Kroos' stick was up in the armpit of Sandilands. Sandilands was all tucked around Kroos, and the puck was nowhere near either of them, actually. They were on their way to the puck, and they got a little sidetracked. So it's gonna be both of them that go. It should remain 5-on-5 as their coincidental penalties. And
UBC off the face-off. Healy shoots, and that redirects wide.
Good puck retrieval coming from Buckley for the Thunderbirds here.
Taken down, that's going to be a penalty, as Porter will get the gate for tripping. Erica Porter, and it will be a power play for the UBC Thunderbirds, up 4-1 in the third period.
We have another look at that one. as Porter gets right in between the legs of Buckley as Buckley turned back up towards the point. And again, that one is a very easy call to be made every single time.
Porter's second penalty of the game. UBC has yet to score on the power play. Haven't needed the help. 4 goals on the board, and now Wong. The blue line Sandilands. Thorpe, pardon me. And Wong plays that around. Morris. To Wong. And Morris again. He's getting to the middle of the ice. Will test, and that was blocked by McDonald and cleared down the ice.
Well, again, with the absence of Wong during the first couple of periods, those other power play opportunities that they had, they were missing her there as well. And when you have a unit that works so well together, it's challenging to just throw another individual on that unit and expect it always to convert. So I'm sure, again, the Thunderbirds happy to have her back.
Short-handed now, Raitt driving the net. Raitt scores! Short-handed beauty by Kira Raitt, and it's a 2-goal game.
And you can see the reaction of Raitt afterwards. There's not even a smile, really. It was just like a big breath that was taken. There was so much frustration pent up, and she made an absolutely beautiful move, took a really good path to get towards the net, picked it up off the boards, went a little bit lower and cut around Morris, who she had already beat. Brought Huggins with her. Huggins just not able to get all the way across when she was down for that puck to be stopped, and Raitt just slides it on home.
Kira Raitt gets her first goal at the U Sports playoffs. Vanessa Schaefer's goal on the U Sports website for the UBC Thunderbirds is listed as shorthanded. We went back and checked. It is not. It was 5-on-5. This one for Raitt is indeed shorthanded, as the UBC Thunderbirds still have 30 seconds of power play time left to work with. Below the goal line, Zinger walking out front. Down low in the right circle. Gaskell picks it up. Back to Zinger. Watched by Raitt, far side. Thorpe shoots. That goes over top of the net. Gaskell at the blue line. Zinger's unable to hold it. That'll do it for the power play. Raitt steaming down the ice again, shorthanded. Raitt taken into the boards by Markova, and Raitt slow to get to her feet, but is able to shake off the effects of that hit.
Well, that was almost the same exact opportunity that Raitt had.
And now Perrier cutting to the slot. Power play's over. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Good check from Healy on the far side as Raitt is crawling off the ice.
It did look like an awkward tumble, and again, it's not necessarily on the play itself, but it could have been how she went into the boards too. So many factors when you're in that situation, so we just hope that she's all right as Atchison brings it into the Thunderbird zone.
Swung around by Healy. Ducio. Full reverse for Waterloo. LaSalle. Into the boards. Still a lot of time left in this third period for Waterloo. Into the bumper for Orth. And that slides away from her.
It was a nice defensive play coming from the Thunderbirds and Rhodes specifically to get it out of the zone, but it does come right back.
Tarman has to be careful with that as it's put around by Pepler. Howell at the blue line, picked up by Mitchell, but it's brought back out by Buckley, and Buckley is stood up by Orth. That's a high hit. It's going to be called, and Buckley, second hard collision of the game.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be Orth that's going to head to the box for that one. She's not happy about it, probably because she didn't like what happened to Raitt, but Graham Thomas is calling for a 4, and I can't say I disagree with him, honestly, as we're having another look at Raitt being taken down by Markova, where there was no call, and she is pushing herself on one knee to get off the ice. Again, just hope that she's okay. And then we see Orth deliver a high, hard hit and elbow extension on Buckley, and it is going to be a 4, which I think is the right call for that one.
Yeah, 100%. Can't have that in the game whatsoever.
And really what did it was that elbow extension. Yes, it was high, but it was the extension of the elbow that really did it in for Orth.
UBC now trying to pile on and get a bit of retribution for Buckley. the scoring, who tied the game for UBC. And before that, that left leg of Rake going into the boards, that looked like a really awkward collision. Her leg twisted at a weird angle.
Well, it was all twisted before even going down into the boards, and then she hit the board, so you have the impact as well. That didn't look very comfortable. So again, just hoping that everything is okay with Rate and that Buckley is all right as well.
7 minutes gone in this third period of play. 3.5 to go in the double minor. And this power play for UBC. Annalise Wong with a head of steam over the blue line with Schaefer. Wong cuts wide and spins back out of the corner. Back into the corner and leaves it for Schaefer. Wong will head to the far side of the ice. It's played back up to Zinger. Morris. Wong. That front presence as that shot is stopped by Kara Mark. Schaefer pulls it out to Elliott. Grace Elliott. Wong. Cross ice feed. Zinger's shot is blocked by Tatum James. And Zinger with battle to regather that puck. Schaefer along the boards. Hit hard by James. And Zinger keeps the play alive. 2:30 to go in the power play. Zinger shoots. That goes wide. And that's cleared down the ice by Waterloo.
Good clear there coming from McDonald as Huggins plays it over to Zinger.
And through the neutral zone, Alona Markova. Who had a beautiful snipe posted in the second period for the 3-1 goal. Markova. Back for Zinger. Under 2 to go in the power play. Zinger. Can't get the backhand through, chops it in front, scores! Markova on the power play, second of the game.
And again, that patience and composure by Zinger comes into play yet again as she finds Markova on the doorstep, on her strong side, no less, and is able to take it right away as a one-timer to beat Mark. I don't even think Mark was expecting it. She was still looking behind the net at Zinger, and Markova made her pay for it.
And Markova, after the fact, I think checking with one of her teammates, did you tip that on the way through? Is it my goal? Is it your goal? And I think it was clean in.
That's the way it looked as well, both live as well as on the replay. But, you know, it's a very caring teammate that does that. Very selfless. I like that about Markova.
100%. Graham Thomas saying she's also very funny.
That's probably what woke them up this morning. She probably cracked some jokes in the locker room while they were having some coffees.
Oh, Buckley, frustrated after taking a couple of hard hits herself, levels. Sarah Hurst into the boards, and she'll head to the box.
I understand, because if I were Buckley, I would also be pretty frustrated. So, I mean, Hurst has... I don't know if she really was deserving of a hit like that, considering everything, but regardless, that will be a call. That was a hard, high hit. And the challenge is when it comes to this, and tensions are high, emotions are high, the physicality has been allowed to be present quite a bit during this game, and it's, as a player, considering how the penalties have been assessed, it's challenging to understand what you're able to do and what you are not able to do. I mean, body contact in general is illegal in the league, so you already know that there shouldn't be any, but we all know that there is some gray in that, but this is beyond gray. So I understand for the players, a little challenging. You need to be able to calm your emotions and just play the game and not get involved in that type of extracurricular, especially if you're Waterloo and you're down by a few goals at this point. That's what UBC wants. They want you to be short here.
Orth shoots that spot off, big rebound in front as there's still over half the period to play for the Warriors. Across Orth, tipped in, James, and it's reeled back by Huggins, and she's able to cover up. James in a spirited discussion with one of the referees.
As well as Thorpe a little bit too, honestly. You know, James is just chatting with everyone.
Referees in this morning's game are Brandy Bearcroft, Beecroft, pardon me, Hillary Brennan, and the Lions officials are Ali Perez and Jody Anderson. And the face-off with a minute 33 left to go in the power play will be taken to the left of Huygens. And Elliott able to pull that back or tie up the stick of Orth, really, as this forecheck from Annalise Wong on the penalty kill will give the Warriors something to think about, trying to kill some time in the corner. Swarmed by 3. And played through the neutral zone and off the stick of LaSalle.
Nice reverse pass there to Nikki McDonald, who will start out the breakout for the Warriors.
With a minute to go left in the Warriors power play, they're breaking not clean enough, and it's sent back down.
Well, what they've been trying to do is making those really long stretch passes, and it's not necessarily working, as we have a stop on the play, as there was Healy that was pointing to the scoreboard, quite like that chirp, but it's going to be Orth that's heading over to the box.
Well, the official was pointing toward the bench, and there was a lot of bodies going in and out of the door.
Head coach Reagan not happy about.
Oh, there it is.
That's okay.
A stiff arm to Maya Healy from Orth.
That was from behind too. That's. I mean, Healy's in a discussion now with the lineswoman, as she seems to be on the way across the ice too.
And Graham Thomas.
He just got it. He
got an explanation.
Exactly. I don't think he really liked it necessarily, but rarely do the coaches ever like the explanations they receive from officials. And Sean Reagan is receiving, I'm sure, the same type of explanation. You saw a little bit of a hand gesture for chirping, the universal hand gesture for chirping. So I think he didn't like maybe what Healy had to say. Perhaps that's why Healy looked like she was heading across to the box as well.
As looks like 4 players on for UBC, and the referee's still a bit confused. Or maybe I'm projecting because I'm a bit confused. So we'll stay as a Waterloo power play. Coincidental penalties being called on Orth and Healy, as it really looked like Healy got the worst of that exchange.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's an unnecessary play.
It's Orth's second penalty in a row. As Kira Wright picks it up, 20 seconds to go in the power play. Atchison away from Elliott. Curling back, cross ice for Wright with a shot. And that was stopped by Huygens. 9 minutes to go in the third period. Wright back to the blue line, Atchison across. Smith in front, rebound, and Huygens able to swallow that up. And in this 5th place game, tempers continue to flare as Morris was tangling up there with Thornton. Tempers flaring here in Elmira, Ontario, but UBC with a big lead over Waterloo.
Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
There's the head coach of the UNB Reds, Sarah Hillworth, as the next game on our docket, the bronze medal game between the UNB Reds and the Guelph Griffins. Head coach, or one of the coaches of the Guelph Griffins as well, in the stands, watching proceedings, but they'll be heading back to their locker room soon to talk to their troops. Set for a 11 a.m. puck drop in under an hour from now, the bronze medal game. As Waterloo in a hole here on home ice against Markova and the UBC Thunderbirds.
Well, again, still down by 3 goals, and there's been no shortage of penalties, no shortage of physical play between these two teams. Obviously, no love lost between them. And Waterloo especially really needs to make sure that they don't get involved in the extracurriculars. They have to manage their emotions and make sure that they stay out of the box to try their best to tie up this hockey game with about 8 minutes left to go.
Wrapped around the near side boards by Elliott. Ducio will keep it in and behind the net. Here's Gray. And Carmen will step away. Out of Barton, Nova Scotia, now Ilona Markova. 2 goals in the game. Crows plays that across, and Markova has it back. Thornton picks it up for Waterloo, and that's turned over. Easy pickings for Markova in the neutral zone.
Well, it was a play that was very much telegraphed. Could have gone across the ice instead, but again, took a little bit too long to get that pass off. It was easy for Markova to make sure that she intercepted it.
And that's stolen by Hurst as she rounds the far side of the net in the attacking zone. And Perrier will take it back for UBC. Flying up the far side of the ice is Baird, and in front, pass couldn't connect. Porter misses the puck, and Baird has it below the goal line. In front of the net, looking for Fleming as it rolled past the stick of Perrier. And Hurst has it 1-on-3, dumps it in and peels off.
Oh, and Fleming was wide open in the front of the net, and that goes to just the lack of awareness on the part of the Warriors to leave someone unattended.
As Baird brings the puck back in, that was blocked in front, and she got tangled up with Tatum James, and Baird is heading to the bench. Looks to be in some discomfort as that shot by Elliott is swallowed up by Kara Mark.
The world is coming to London, Ontario this summer. Don't miss the 2026 FISU World University Rowing Championships from August 13th to the 15th in partnership with Western University, Rowing Canada, and Tourism London. For more information, visit rowing2026.fisu.net.
Shots 33-18 in favor of the UBC Thunderbirds as they're 6 minutes and 26 seconds away from another 5th place finish at Nationals.
Oh, and you see some smiles already coming from some UBC Thunderbirds on the ice as they get set for the face-off to the right of Mark.
Knocked out into the neutral zone and played back in by UBC. Just over 6 remaining as Crows is flushed out by Buckley. Buckley's been very noticeable in a number of different categories, but has been all over the ice and on the ice on a couple of occasions as Wong looks to play that in front, and another injured. And is that Buckley again?
It is
in
Buckley
the corner
again.
And she's down.
Again, not exactly sure what happened there, but she was on the forecheck. She'll make her way to the bench and be attended to.
And it leaves Wong. And Wong takes a tumble out of the zone. Might have got tangled up with Crows.
I think that might have just been an edge that was caught, but I didn't quite catch all of it.
Wong. Back down low. Sandlin's across. Pepler. And that's easy pickings for Mark. But for UBC with this firm lead, I think they want to get this game over with as fast as possible because they're down bodies.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, like, the last thing that either team wants is for someone to get seriously injured. I mean, you can play physical, you can throw your body around, but the last thing you ever want to see is a player going down and staying down. We've seen that a couple times during this game, and just happy to see that all the players that had been down were able to return to the play.
And fighting for that is Rhodes. And out is Gray on the far side. Odd player rush developing, but a lot of Thunderbirds converge.
There's a really good back check coming from the Thunderbirds on that play. Waterloo not really having too much of an opportunity to cut in or do much of anything as Markova skates it back up.
Against Mitchell. Markova, what a pass into the middle. Zinger! What a goal! Markova to Zinger to the back of the net, and it's 6-2.
That was pure beauty as Markova fended off two Waterloo players with a very strategic delay and found Zinger, who popped up in the rush from the back end to receive that pass. She opened up so well as a righty, took her time receiving it, and made no mistake with her shot that beat Kara Mark.
The last goal that was scored by Markova, her second of the game, assisted by Zinger. And this goal, Zinger assisted by Markova. And boy, has she been on display. Well, both players, but Markova in this game. As James brings it back in, Smith shoots, and that's blocked by Thorpe.
Well, you know, it's interesting too, because head coach Graham Thomas, when speaking about Markova, also mentioned that, you know, she's really hitting her stride.
And now it's another odd player rush, and Schaefer sends it toward the front of the net. Big rebound, Fleming scores! 7-2. That loose puck in the slot, hammered home by Jacqueline Fleming. And the floodgates have surely opened now.
The response from the Thunderbirds has been quite a treat to watch, Desmond. And again, all the goals that really they've been scoring have just been beautiful goals. This one, Fleming following it up, and Waterloo, what we've seen before from them is that they would normally do a really good job clearing the loose pucks from the front of the net, helping out their goaltender. That one, they seemed almost a little bit lost, as if they didn't know where the puck was, and Fleming came in, knew exactly where the puck was.
And now it's another chance back up the other way, and Baird, well done by Ducio to angle her off and box her out.
No, it was a really good defensive play coming from Ducio. Throughout this tournament, we've seen defense do a really great job of standing up their players, taking the body, as we're just seeing another look at how the Warrior players that were on saw where the puck was, saw Fleming coming in, but no one attempted, from what it looked like, to clear the puck, and not one Warrior player got down to block that shot.
And Bestick right in the eyes of Kara Mark, and look back at maybe looking to apologize to Mark, who had no chance to see that puck as it's iced by Waterloo. Jacqueline Fleming had an empty net goal against Ottawa, but that one will feel a lot sweeter.
Well, and there were a couple goals even during this game where we wondered if Mark even saw it, mainly the Schaefer one as well. She had the body of Atchison right in front of her, so it's always important as a defense to make sure that you're getting out of the way of your goaltender. If you're not going to block the shot, you got to get out of the way of her eyes so that she has the best opportunity to stop that puck.
9 goals scored in this 5th place game. Baird looking for that puck, and it's poked at and kept in the zone. Baird with Healy. Finds her behind the net, back in front for Baird. It slides through her stick, and it's cleared out through the neutral zone. In an interview yesterday, Graham Thomas talking about wanting to assert their dominance on the ice, and they did so yesterday against the University of Ottawa in the consolation semifinal, but this by a much larger scoreline.
Well, what's interesting to see about the production that's happened here as Wong takes it over and goes in is that
Sandilands shoots, and that goes wide.
I was waiting to see if something happened there. But it's been interesting to to witness a lot of different Thunderbirds players getting in on the scoring and being on the score sheet. You have different ones like Schaefer, you have Markova, who's really broken out this game, Morris, Rhodes, just so many different names and faces that have contributed to UBC.
The sharp stop by Huygens as it was tipped toward her net. The stick of a Warrior in front was caught in the pads of Huygens. They'll separate, and it's brought back in by Wong. Chops to Elliott, down low for Wong. And she'll feed the blue line. Under 2 to go. As Thorpe plays that in front. Sanders trying to tip it back door, and now Thorpe. Sharp angle, cast aside by Kara Mark, whose save percentage will take a bit of a dip after this game. Was rock solid in the first 2 and in the first period as well, but it was only a matter of time before UBC really got their scoring legs under them.
Well, the challenge is, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good for Mark to have let in 7 goals necessarily, but what everyone needs to remember is that as much as the players in front rely on their goaltender, the goaltender relies heavily on the 5 players in front of her, and we saw instances where either they were screening her themselves or they didn't clear loose pucks. I mean, she's been absolutely peppered with shots during this morning's game.
Yeah, 37 to 19 right now, the shots favoring the UBC Thunderbirds. As Markova takes this up along the boards, turned over. McDonald shooting, it'll come to Smith as we enter the last minute of play in this 5th place game. UBC a huge 7-2 lead over Waterloo. Nikki McDonald sends that puck in. Has 3 goals in the tournament for Waterloo. Kira Raitt has the other, shorthanded. And Markova shovels that to the far side. Tap the blue line, that shot is sifted through, and it will be gloved down by Kara Mark with 19.5 to go in this 3rd period.
That will really do it for this game, but you know, we mentioned a little bit earlier, Desmond, nice to witness others getting in on the scoring action. We didn't really see any point production from Elliott during this game. Wong obviously missing 2 out of the 3 periods. So it was nice to see the others step up in that opportunity that was created.
Yeah, 100% as Mitchell has her hands high in the air as that's sent it in front, and with 3 seconds left, it will be cleared to the line, and the UBC Thunderbirds will finish 5th at the U-Sports Women's Hockey Championships for the 6th time in program history.
Again, it was a dominant scoring performance by the Thunderbirds. It didn't start off that way, a little bit of a flat start, and Warriors would come out red hot, rearing to go, and it seemed like a lot of their air came out of their tires throughout that game, and UBC went the other direction and very much peaked, and that's evidenced by all the scoring action on the score sheet. And of course, the 3rd period, the return of their captain brought new life to them, went right to their legs and right to their hockey sticks, quite honestly.
Yeah, it really did. And as you mentioned, it was noticeable right off the face-off as Wong was out there for the opening jaw and had the first touch to the puck and brought it in, and you could see sort of this glow around the UBC Thunderbirds roster on the ice.
Yeah. It's an aura, Desmond.
She brings it out.
She really helped out on that forecheck, which was evident from that puck drop to start off the 3rd period. That's what we were mentioning in the first 2 periods, is that it seemed a little lackluster, and as soon as she got on the ice to start the 3rd, it was a heavy, colliding type of forecheck. Like a hurricane had swept in there.
So Graham Thomas and his squad, each time that they've not medaled, have finished 5th. They got silver in 2016, bronze in 2017 and 2023. Each time they haven't medaled, They have not lost the 5th place game, as they will equal their performance from last year when they finished 5th. Graham Thomas, the 2025-26 Fox 40 U Sports Coach of the Year, 2nd time winning that award. And mentioning Elliott not able to produce on the score sheet. Interesting, because she was being double shifted for the opening 2 periods, was actually credited for an assist on Markova's 3rd goal, but
it was not.
It was not.
It was not. It was actually Karine Sandelin's number 14. It was her pass that really she should have been credited for the assist. So I would hope that gets changed later to give credit where credit is due. It's a very nice pass.
And you want that because you were highlighting Sandelin's at the top of the game, Brianna.
Exactly.
Here are the highlights from this 5th place game.
And there was no shortage of highlights, as that was a beautiful play done by Morris to go top shelf, waited out right to go down for the block and walked right around her to snipe it top shelf. Great not to be outdone though. Also came back with a little nifty move of herself, and she was so active during the game, a little bit in the penalty box too, but very active.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was Raitt who we saw go down awkwardly into the boards, and she came back after that. That goal was before that happened, but she came back afterwards. The Nike Player of the Game presentations now, as Tatum James,
the
recipient of the Nike Player of the Game for the Waterloo Warriors.
Thunderbirds forward, number 24, Ilona Markova.
And for the UBC Thunderbirds, I mean, if it was not Ilona Markova, I think there would have been a riot. She was phenomenal during this game, not just on the score sheet where she had scored and assisted as well. It was 2 goals, 2 assists, absolutely phenomenal. And she's just all over the place. She creates pure chaos on the forecheck. She's so skilled with the puck. You saw even on Zinger's goal, she made a really, really smart delay, drew 2 Warrior players to her to open up Zinger on that right-hand side. Like, just the full package, and look how happy she is after that one.
Big smile on her face, and Graham Thomas said she's usually the one making the other teammates laugh and smile. I mean, this is a happy group now.
And she has a good sense of humor. Maybe she's laughing at her own jokes too. I mean, she's not funny. I get it, right? Sometimes people tell me I have a good sense of humor too. Nobody doesn't, right?
Especially at 6 in the morning.
Absolutely. As the Thunderbirds take a team picture to commemorate this win.
Not where the Waterloo Warriors wanted to end up in this tournament, hosting for the 2nd year in a row. They got silver last year, but they still showed up, and had an amazing performance from Nikki McDonald.
Oh, and she was good throughout the whole tournament. And again, not where they wanted to be, and not the performance they wanted to end with, unfortunately. But, you know, it is something that the returning players will take into next season. There's always lessons to be learned from losing. There's actually more lessons, I would say, from losing as opposed to winning. And so they will take a lot of learning away from this experience, especially for the 2nd time in a row, to go into the off season, have a short memory, and come back strong the next year.
Well, only coming into the league, which was the CIS at the time, now U Sports, in 2002, and this only their 3rd time qualifying for nationals in that time frame. And Sean Reagan quoted as saying before the tournament that it's just been outstanding to work with this group, to see them grow. They were here through the pandemic together as well, so a journey of 6 years for many on the Waterloo Warriors coming to an end, but a challenge that Sean Reagan loved to take on, and has loved to see the growth in the program that should only continue to improve with this Nationals experience.
Absolutely, Desmond. Again, at one end you have pure joy, and then at the other end you have devastation, and that's the way that sports goes. There has to be a winner, there has to be a team that doesn't win, and it's exactly how it turned out today And again, so much for the Thunderbirds to be proud of, and a lot for the Warriors to be proud of as well.
Take a look at the final stats after 60 minutes of play. 7-2 the final for the UBC Thunderbirds, peppering Kara Mark with 40 shots in the game. Warriors winning the face-off dot battle, but UBC excellent at recovering those pucks, both in the defensive zone and in the offensive zone. Warriors getting down and blocking 18 shot attempts against, and UBC as well, only 4 behind at 14. Annalise Wong
being carried off koala style
by Grace
with
Elliott.
That's how close the team is.
Hopefully that means the medical school interview went well, and wish her all the best in her future endeavors in the medical profession. There's Michelle Gow of the Guelph Griffins getting prepped for her bronze medal game against the UNB Reds. That's coming up in just a half hour, and we'll send it down now to the Nike player of the game. 4 points in this game for Ilona Markova with Carissa Duncan.
Well, Ilona, you had a big night. Obviously not the end to the tournament that you probably envisioned, but how did it feel to end it with a win?
Well, I'm so happy to play with that special group and coach and staff and everyone, even players who didn't play. I was so happy to be part of this team and work hard and do everything for this team. And just happy. Of course, it wasn't our goal. We wanted more. We worked really hard and we were prepared for something more than this. But I'm so proud of our team that we didn't give up and we proceed to play. I think it's like more for pro athletes about it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm so proud of us.
I know you've had a long journey, from Russia, being drafted in the PWHL, and then here to BC where you played your first game in January. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, of course, for me and for my family, it was really tough period. I don't think like life is fair in general. It's not just me, and I would say I didn't give up, and I took so much risks, and then it's hard to explain into words, of course, but I'm so happy that I just took some opportunities that people gave me, and I just took my chance, and I'm working hard. I think this is enough always, and yeah, that's it.
And what's next for you?
I don't know. I think my life is unpredictable. Well, and I think my goal is just like improving my game, every day, working hard, and I'm pretty sure that chances will come to me, and I just have to be ready for everything, and we'll see. I don't know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
That's Carissa Duncan with a very well-spoken Markova, who had some excellent, insightful answers to the questions being asked of her. That was one of the best interviews I think we've seen at this tournament. Her answers were fantastic, and she's right, life is not fair, but she has persevered, and yeah, the UBC Thunderbirds not finishing where they wanted to, but they dominated in this 5th place game.
Absolutely. Anyone watching this game would see the score and think the same thing. And to your point, Markova, really just some profound answers and very well spoken and just very down to earth and humble, just saying doesn't know what's next, but just looking to improve every day, and really spoke to her resilience. And I found that shine through in her performance.
So the consolation bracket is all done. UBC finishing 5th, and the Waterloo Warriors will finish in the 6th spot in the 2026 U Sports Women's Hockey Playoffs. Here's the championship bracket upcoming. The UNB Reds and the Guelph Griffins in the bronze medal game, and later this afternoon it's an all RSEQ final, as our compatriots on the French side of the broadcast called that it would be at the start, and they were right. We should have listened to them, as Les Carabins de Montréal will go up against the Concordia Stingers. That's set for a 3 p.m. Eastern puck drop. Dominant on the ice. were the UBC Thunderbirds over the Waterloo Warriors. So many players contributing on the score sheet. Markova with 4 assists. Buckley tying the game. Rhodes getting on the scoreboard as well. Zinger, Fleming, Schaefer, and Sandlins all contributing to the lineup for the UBC Thunderbirds, and the Waterloo Warriors will be heading back home. So on behalf of Brianna Newell, Carissa Duncan, our whole crew here on CBC, my name is Desmond Thomas. A big victory for UBC in the 5th place game.
Sports on CBC, presented by Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox Sporty, Thunderbirds Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by Miller Waste Systems.